Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Mikel Arteta says key Arsenal star progressing well, expected to return from injury against Sheffield United. Arsenal travel to Sheffield United on Monday night, and the Gunners could have a key man return to their squad for the Premier League clash. Last season, Thomas Partey was a key part of the North London club's success as they challenged Man City for the Premier League, but the current campaign has seen the Ghana star injured for the majority of it. The midfielder has featured in only 5 matches and has been out of action since facing Man City back in October. Speaking about Partey at his press conference on Thursday, Arteta has confirmed that Partey will be included in the squad for Sheffield United. He said, Thomas Partey should be part of the squad on Monday. He had a session before the last game and now he's done 2 or 3 sessions. It's progressing well. Partey's return comes at a great time for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, as the Gunners' boss will need bodies for the title run-in. The Ghana star is a quality operator on his day, but it's uncertain as of now what level he is at, having been out of action for so long. With a contract expiring at the Emirates in 2025, this may be the 30-year-old's last season at Arsenal, and the player will want to end it by winning one of the huge trophies the North London club are still fighting for. Chelsea hoping to raid Premier League rivals for 25-year-old in-demand ace. Chelsea could look to make a move for Aaron Ramsdale at the end of the season. The 25-year-old has fallen down the pecking order at Arsenal, and he needs to leave the club in order to play regularly. A report from Football Insider claims that Chelsea chiefs view him as a good option to have, and it remains to be seen whether they can secure an agreement with their bitter rivals. Ramsdale was a key player for Arsenal last season, and he helped them compete for the league title. He will want to play regularly at this stage of his career, and the opportunity to move to Chelsea could be an attractive one for him, especially if they are ready to promise him ample game time. He has barely started for the Gunners since the arrival of David Raya at the start of the season. Meanwhile, the Blues signed Robert Sanchez from Brighton at the start of the season, but seems that they are unconvinced of his quality. Ramsdale has certainly proven himself in the Premier League, and he could make an instant impact. The goalkeeper is keen on leaving the North London club, and therefore Chelsea will feel that they are in a good position to negotiate a reasonable fee for him. Chelsea are not the only club keen on signing the 25-year-old goalkeeper, and multiple other Premier League and European clubs could look to come forward with offers to sign the Arsenal goalkeeper. It's fair to assume that the 25-year-old might prefer to stay in the Premier League, and therefore Chelsea will certainly have a good chance of landing him at the end of the season. Mikel Arteta admits he has given £20 million Arsenal player a really tricky situation. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has praised Jakub Kiwior for his improvement this season. The Pole has been impressive, recording a goal and 2 assists in his last 5 appearances. Signed from Spezia for £20 million in January 2023, Kiwior had an up-and-down first year at the club. There were even rumors surrounding a return to Italy ahead of the January transfer window. That didn't happen, and we would argue there is little chance of it happening this summer. Kiwior has shown his value as a left-back, whilst also being able to play at centre-back and even in holding midfield if needed. That kind of versatility will be very valuable to Arteta, and he has now moved to praise Kiwior. Speaking to Football London, Arteta suggests that Kiwior has been really good of late, having built up confidence and even more physicality. He said, "We made a decision to bring him in earlier because we believed that whichever player we were going to sign to have the role that he had to have was going to need time, and that was the case. We have made it difficult for him for 2 reasons. One, because he hasn't played that many minutes, and the second one, because we asked him to play in a position that he's never played in before. So it's like putting William Saliba as a fullback and saying, there we go tomorrow, go and perform and do what we have to do. And I think he adapted really well. I think he is playing better and better. You can tell that he is earning confidence and physicality. He is better. He understands the role much better and has been really good. Yeah, it's all about that. In the end, you can't ask players to do things that they don't feel especially capable of doing in a natural way. So we have to tweak a few things to make sure that the players play to their strength. £50 million player suggests he never wants to leave Arsenal. Ben White has suggested he never wants to leave Arsenal as he feels very settled in North London. Arsenal snapped up Ben White from Brighton and Hove Albion for a fee worth £50 million back in the summer of 2021. The 26-year-old has established himself as a key part of Mikel Arteta's side, having racked up 119 appearances for the club already. Recent reports have claimed that White is on the verge of signing a new deal with Arsenal, with his current contract set to expire in 2026. Now, White has admitted that he views his long-term future in North London and is settled at the club. Speaking to Sky Sports, White was asked, "Is this the future for you with this club?" White replied, "Definitely. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I'm very settled and all my family are here. It's an amazing place to live, and playing for Arsenal just tops it off." White has mainly been used as a right back over the past 18 months after William Saliba's rise at the club. Despite fullback not being his natural position, the Englishman has made that spot his own in Arteta's side. He's also formed a brilliant understanding with both Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka, which makes Arsenal dangerous down the right-hand side. The fact that White sees his long-term future at Arsenal will go down well with supporters and people at the club. White is undoubtedly one of the best defenders in the league and rarely puts a foot wrong for the Gunners. Whether or not Arsenal eventually bring in a more attacking option at right back remains to be seen. But providing White continues to perform at a high level, it's difficult to see him leave the Emirates Stadium anytime soon. Mikel Arteta admits £20 million Arsenal player's injury has been worse than he thought. Amid the good news of Thomas Partey returning for Arsenal this weekend, Mikel Arteta has also provided news of an injury setback. Arsenal travelled to Sheffield United on Monday with a strong squad. Jesus is thought to be ready to start the game, a selection dilemma that has rarely landed Arteta's way this season, and with Thomas Partey also now available, Arsenal will have a strong bench one way or another. Of course, with the business end of the season approaching, these boots will be incredibly welcome. Arsenal's second leg against Porto is scheduled for March 12, and Arteta would love to have a full complement of players available, and to that end, it has felt as if Takahiro Tomiyasu has been close to a return for some games now, only to not be involved. And when speaking at his press conference today, Arteta confirmed that the Arsenal defender has suffered something of an injury setback. Arteta, who was speaking via journalist Ryan Taylor, who shared his words on X, said Arsenal didn't want to take a risk with the defender's injury. The manager said, "He had an injury in the last game for Japan. He was out. We expected it to be a little bit shorter, but he struggled in the recovery, so we extended that period to be more certain. We didn't want to risk losing him for months." And when asked about Tomiyasu's availability ahead of Monday's game, Arteta said it was a possibility, but time will tell. Of course, Arsenal fans will surely be very pleased with this precaution Arteta is showing with the injury, given how important Tomiyasu could be in the coming months. The £20 million defender will be needed at left back once again to dovetail with Zinchenko, even if Jakub Kiwior is doing a stellar job right now. £15 million Arsenal loanee could now be sold for a serious profit. Arsenal loanee Albert Sambi Lokonga has been one of the surprise packages in the Premier League this season. The Belgian midfielder has been a revelation at Luton since arriving at the Hatters on loan, and many are wondering whether or not he does have a future at Arsenal. Speaking on Shots TV, Chris Whitley has shared what he knows about Lokonga's situation heading into the summer. The journalist says that Lokonga is likely to get a chance in a pre-season to impress, but if he is indeed sold, Arsenal will ask for big money after such a successful loan spell. The reporter shared what he knows about the £15 million man. He said, Lokonga is really showing his class at Luton and he will be hoping to compete for a place in a preseason. I think there is certainly a chance he will get an opportunity in a preseason and then he will be assessed. Jurgen Klopp, he won't be at Liverpool next season, but if Liverpool do want to sign him, they will have to come up with big money. Regardless of what happens with Lokonga this summer, the decision to loan him to Luton looks to be an absolute masterstroke. The midfielder has improved so much over these past few months, and now Arsenal either have a really talented player on their hands or a very sellable asset to bank some cash in the summer. Of course, it remains to be seen what Arsenal do with Lokonga come the end of the season, but they are in a strong position to make the most of either this young man's ability or his ever-increasing transfer value. Arsenal want to sign a player who will help them fully unlock their 25-year-old. Arsenal have been brilliant this season, and Declan Rice has played a huge part in the Gunners' recent good form. The midfielder has been utterly brilliant in recent weeks, especially when he's been paired with Jorginho and been allowed to play a bit further forward. Rice has been allowed to play in a more advanced role as of late, and apparently this is something Arsenal want to explore on a more permanent basis. Indeed, according to Dini Jones, speaking on the Ranks FC podcast, Arsenal do want to find someone to sign this summer who will allow Rice to play with a bit more freedom next season, with Martin Zubimendi touted as one potential option. Jones shared what he knows about the Gunners' transfer plans. He said, "You talked about Zubimendi when you were doing your long list. He is someone Arsenal have their eye on. It's interesting that they are contemplating something like that. They have been linked with Onana and players like that too. I think they will be looking for someone who is a good partner for Rice in terms of letting him off the leash a little bit more." There is plenty of work to be done in the transfer market for Arsenal this summer, but signing another midfielder to help unlock Declan Rice really isn't a bad idea. The England international has so much potential in a more advanced position, but this season he is largely been shackled when playing in a deeper role. If Arsenal can go and sign someone like Zubimendi or even Douglas Luiz, they could use Rice in a more attacking role, and that could give their midfield a whole new dynamic in the long term. Arsenal scouts about to fly out to overseas match this week will watch unbelievable £87 million target. Arsenal are now set to send their scouts to watch summer target Victor Gyokeres in action for Sporting on Thursday. Today, the summer transfer window could see Edu Gaspar look to bring in a new striker over the coming months, and it seems he has his eyes on one in particular, with Arsenal representatives confirmed to be in attendance today. According to reports, the Gunners are in the market for a new striker this summer, with some concerns lingering over Gabriel Jesus' fitness, and one of the strikers who has been named as a potential candidate for Mikel Arteta's side is Victor Gyokeres. On Wednesday, X account Scouts Attending posted an update suggesting Arsenal will have scouts in attendance for the game between Sporting and Benfica on Thursday. AC Milan will also have representatives at the match, with a belief both sides will be there to watch the Swedish striker. He is a player who has caught the eye since moving to Sporting, but his former Coventry City manager, Mark Robbins, has been a huge fan for a long time, labeling him unbelievable. It has been another impressive campaign for the Gunners in the Premier League, but they still remain adrift of the leaders. a new striker could potentially go a long way to close that gap, with Jesus proving far from reliable this term. Goals have not actually been an issue for the Gunners in recent weeks, but over the course of the season, it could prove huge. The likes of Ivan Toney and Victor Osimhen have both been linked ahead of the summer, and it's a position which will likely cost them considerably, with the Gyokeres already valued at £87 million. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.